Believe it or not, it's 4:10 in the morning and it's just starting to get a little bit light. Lisa's still in bed, but that's what we expect by now. It's an eerie morning. There's supposed to be a nice little bit of wind, but instead there seems to be a little bit of a calm. So we'll motor for a bit and see if the wind kicks in. The wind is actually meant to be northwesterly 3 to 5, and because the Menai Straits runs from southwest to northeast, it's often blocked by the land, so it can often be quite calm here anyway. But when we get to the other side, we should get out into the clear air, and then we should get a cracking sail down the Llyn Peninsula. So until then, we're just going to have to motor. Menai Bridge just ahead, which is going to open up to the Swellies, and the Menai Bridge is called Menai Bridge because that's the little town of Menai. 4 little ducks sitting in a row. Menai training boats. If you look at the tiny little gap down there, that's what I've got to go through, and all this water has as well. See, that starboard hand can is on my starboard, but here the starboard hand can is on my port. And where is it in real life? Let's have a look out the window. It's on my port, so I sailor wins. That looks like the first sailing boat of the day. And a wave, very good. Well, I'm well outside the bar now, and I haven't seen any wind yet, except maybe what I'm making. So I'm still motoring along, waiting for the wind to pop out and fill in. It's a very, very grey day, and they've told me on the weather forecast that the skies are clear. And somebody's telling porkies somewhere around here they've stolen all the sunshine, they've stolen all the wind. Still no wind, and all this motoring's going to wake Lisa up at some point. She needs a beauty sleep. And then comes a gasp of air, so let's make full use of it. There is a little bit of a swell underneath us as well, so the boat's rocking just a little bit, which doesn't help keep the light airs in the mainsail, and the boom moves backwards and forwards. So I've stuck a bungee on it to keep it quiet. So as it bounces now, the bungee takes it up and lets it down, and takes it up and lets it down, because I can't bear that noise of the boom going clang and the sail going slap. And I can't be bothered keeping my arm on the main sheet all the time to do the damping, so let Mr. Bungee do the work. Not quite the force 3 to 5 that was advertised, but it'll do while we get it, because it doesn't last forever. And then we're back to the donkey. There's actually whales in this shot, real whales, but they were very quick to disappear again, and you don't see them that often. This is actually Bardsey Sound, and seen 2 of them, and then got the camera out, waited for them, and I don't think they're coming back. So I'm sorry you missed the whales. Bardsey Sound's one of those places you normally have to time. As it is, we've timed it anyway. We weren't planning on coming through here. We were going to sail all the way down to Fishguard, but as there's not enough wind, we'll maybe go round to Abersoch or carry on if the wind picks up a little bit. There's somebody going out in search of wind. And a wave. This chap gave me a couple of hoots on his horn. That's a battleship, isn't it? And that's a big rock. Or a small island, whichever way you look at it. Right in the middle of the sound. Oops, what am I doing here? I'm showing you my shoes. No, I'm not showing you my shoes at all. I'm showing you we've actually got a couple of knots of wind, which is very nice. And we're actually sailing again, but with a bit more pace this time. So hopefully this will keep going, and we'll keep going. So I think we'll pass the anchorage and maybe sail down to Abersoch or Pwllheli, somewhere like that. As it's only noon now. Somebody else making good use of the wind as well. I wonder where they're going. Across the Irish Sea maybe. Oh, this breeze is actually starting to fill in a little bit now. We're seeing the 3 to 4, and all we've got to see then is the 5. As you can see, this is the windward side, and there's not much in the way of waves at the moment. This really is a slight sea, but we're starting to make our way through it quite quickly because it's a slight as well. Powering up, and look at that water being pushed out the way. Now, if my socks needed washing, that would be an ideal washing machine to wash them in. But they'd probably end up disappearing down there somewhere, so we won't bother. It's nice to finally feel the boat sailing properly. We've been all day nearly motoring, just odd little bits of wind we've had. And we've been waiting for this to kick in. We're even late for where we were going, so we'll just enjoy it and we'll carry it till it stops, and I suppose that's where we'll drop our hook, wherever the wind stops or wherever our bellies start to rumble. There's not really that many friendly anchorages, I don't think, along here once you've passed Abersoch. There is a couple of beachy places, and I think one's got the devil in it. Now that I've got my legs out and I've taken to relaxing, the 3 to 4's dropped down to a 2 to 3, or maybe even a little bit less than that. But we're going to sit on it for a bit longer and see where we get to. We're still moving. We've got no particular place in mind. 6 knots of wind is enough to keep us going. And then our breeze comes back and we're away again. I wouldn't mind betting that that's hull speed. If you look, it's braking at the bow and it's going cleanly shaped on one big loop right under the boat. And on the other side, the wave appears to be exactly the same. And the sails are full and driving well, and I think we're actually going well too. The wind just got up to over 20 knots for a minute, so I dropped the mainsail. Well, I didn't drop her, I wound her away. So I'm on the foresail now and I'm still doing near 5 knots. The wind's up and down here like a yo-yo. It's coming off the land, so I suppose it's spilling round things and accelerating. So I'm staying on the foresail and we're staying into the wind. We're pretty close hauled, or a very close reach if nothing else. Just on in. And I think this is a positive step up from last year. 18, 19 knots, 5.5 knots. Into the wind, 5.6, 5.7. Not doing too bad this year, are we? 6 knots into the wind on one sail. Wonder what's changed. Well, I'm actually getting a little bit tired now. I've been up since God knows when. 4 o'clock in the morning. So while she's ploughing along like this, I'll let her take us somewhere. We'll go around this corner, past them islands, and anchor up somewhere around there, I think. I have to put a tack in when I go around the corner, because I've got to keep going down this little gap between mainland and an island. Down there is where I want to go. That's Abersoch. Next tack in. And she tacks cleanly on just the foresail. Not all boats carry round like that, but she does quite happy. She'll tack freely on just one sail. And we've got about 20 knots of wind, so I've got to push the bow through it. So the weight of the boat is what pushes the bow round. And then the back mainsail catches it and shoves it the rest of the way. Making a right good turn of speed as well. And if you could see the speed though, you'd say I'm knocking on 6's door more often than not, which is really good for one sail going to windward. Tacked again. But at least she is tacking really happy and ploughing into them waves, because she wants to get there, because she wants to give me a break. I just seen it hit 6 knots then. Don't take my word for it. I'll try and zoom in on the log. There it is. Look, look, look. Oh well, we put the sails down and we motor through the buoys until we get ourselves a little place where nobody else will bother us, and we drop the hook. But just in case there's any ground tackle down here, I've stuck a tripping line on it, because there's thousands of moorings by the looks of it. But it's a nice day, and there's two islands in the background at Udswolds. Right, I can have a rest. Till tomorrow maybe. Bon voyage.